Here's a money trick so clean it should be illegal, except they just passed a law to make sure it stays legal. You buy a stablecoin. You hand over a real dollar, they hand you a digital one worth $1. Simple. But here is what happens to your dollar while you hold the coin. They take it, they buy government treasuries with it, those treasuries pay interest, and they keep every single cent of that interest. You take all the risk of holding the thing. They take all the money it earns, and that is the entire business. Now let me put real numbers on it, because this is not small. Prosecutors estimate that Circle and Tether each made roughly $1 billion in profit in 2024 just from investing the reserve funds, each. And here is the ugly part. That includes reserves backing coins that were stolen and frozen. So even when the money was tied up because something went wrong, they were still earning interest on it. The well never stops pumping, no matter who is drowning. And Tether is the giant here. So look at their actual reported haul. $13 billion in net profit for 2024. $13 billion with a B. And they projected over $10 billion more for 2025, almost all of it from Treasury yield. From the interest on your dollars, the ones you handed over thinking you were just buying a stable digital token, Tether has a few hundred employees, a few hundred. Compare that to a real bank with tens of thousands of staff, branches, and a mountain of regulation, earning a fraction of that profit per head. Tether prints money like a central bank because functionally that is exactly what they have become. A private central bank that gets to keep the entire spread on billions of dollars, with almost none of the obligations a real bank carries and none of the promises to ever share a cent of it with you. And here is the part that turns a clever business into a rigged one. Issuers are legally barred from paying you any interest, not allowed to. By law, the yield on the reserves stays with the issuer, never the holder. So this is not them choosing to be greedy in a free market. The rules themselves were written to guarantee that the person who provided the dollar gets nothing, and the company that holds it gets everything. The fix is not a glitch. The fix is the law. And it gets darker, because the watchdogs are sounding alarms and being ignored. On February 2nd, the New York Attorney General Letitia James, the Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, and other prosecutors warned that the new Genius Act lets issuers dodge anti-money laundering and fraud rules. Their words about Circle, not mine. Circle has chosen to actively thwart law enforcement and to profit from victims' losses. As of November, Circle was sitting on more than $114 million in frozen funds, still earning the whole time. Now zoom out and see the whole machine for what it is. You were sold a story about decentralization, about cutting out the middleman bank that takes a cut of your money. And what did you get? A new middleman with less regulation who keeps a bigger cut and a brand new law that makes the cut permanent. They did not remove the bank. They built a bank that is allowed to keep 100% of the interest and call it innovation. So what should the honest version look like? Because there is one. If your money earns interest, you should get the interest. That is the entire idea. Ownership means the yield on your dollars flows back to you, the person who provided them, not to a private company that risked nothing. The technology to share that yield with holders exists right now. They are choosing the version where they keep it all, and the law is helping them. Demand the version where the value goes back to the people who created it. $13 billion in profit, $1 billion each off your dollars, including the frozen ones. A law written so you can never see a cent of the interest your own money earns. And prosecutors waving their arms saying this is helping criminals, while the spread keeps printing. They did not cut out the middleman. They became the richest middleman in history and got Congress to lock the door behind them. Wake up means asking the only question that ever matters here. My money earned that. So why does someone else keep it? If this got under your skin, good. I put the ownership stuff into practice with MXEL, where the value your money and work create flows back to you instead of a middleman keeping the whole spread. That is at mxl.com. Stay loud.